You have put together an incredible marketing campaign. You pat yourself on the back and you put it out there and you wait for the customers to come running to your company. However, when you put it out there, nothing happens. People don't seem to be motivated. They don't seem to connect with the marketing that you've put together, and your marketing efforts fall flat on their face. What's the problem? In my experience, one of the biggest problems is that the information fails to communicate, fails to connect with your target audience in a meaningful way. And that's because sometimes marketers are afraid to persuade. They've put together this pretty website or this beautiful flyer, these awesome business cards, this beautiful package. And it looks great from the outside, but it's only skin deep. That type of beauty is only skin deep. On the inside, there's nothing that reaches out and grabs those consumers and tries to pull them in. Now, the core of this problem, I think, is that many marketers are just afraid to persuade. They're afraid to make their intentions obvious with their marketing material. I think a big part of the problem, and the reason why this is the case, is that persuasion is oftentimes negatively associated with high pressure sales tactics. So if I persuade you to do something, then I am trying to browbeat you, I am forcing you, I'm coercing you to do something unwillingly. You're kicking and screaming, and you're going to resent me as a result of it. So because of this negative connotation, many business people are reluctant to persuade in a way that's open and obvious. They don't want to be seen as being overbearing or pushy or salesy. So as a result, it kind of holds them back in their sales, and it also holds them back in terms of developing their marketing message. They don't want that marketing message to be too in your face, and as a result, it just doesn't reach out and connect with your target audience. But the bottom line is that the heart and the meat behind any type of your customer-facing information, your customer-facing communications, like your blog articles, the copy on your website, some of your email marketing, perhaps your direct mail or advertisements that you're putting out there, the core reason that you're doing it is to persuade them of something. You want them to see things your way. So the art of persuasion is to sort of move your audience towards your goals without turning them off. And I say art, of course, because there's no real scientific formula for this. You just have to figure out what works for you. It's going to be different for every segment of your target audience. It's going to be different for every product or service that you sell. And it'll be different from every company. So what works for one company might not work for the other. But the bottom line is that you have to figure out what it is that move your target audience slowly towards your objective, your evil plan, without actually turning them off. There is a formula that I use to figure this out, to kind of create the art behind persuasion, and that formula is deck, getting your customers on deck. And deck is spelled DEC here. Yes, I can spell. I know that's not the correct spelling, but D stands for define your target audience, E stands for exceed their expectations, and C stands for creating cheerleaders out of them. So the first stage is to define your target audience. And the reason that you're defining your target audience before you create any type of marketing material is because if you don't know what their fears are, you don't know what their needs are, you don't know what their desires are, then how the heck can you speak to their fears, needs, and desires? You really need to understand them. You need to understand them better than they understand themselves. A great example of a company that employs the art of persuasion throughout any of their marketing campaigns, and really throughout their company and all of their customer facing material, is Apple. Apple does a great job of this, and you don't have to look any further than their website. If you go to their iPad section on their website, you will see a difference in the way that they talk about their technology and their tablet versus the way that other companies are talking about their tablets. Other companies are talking about their tablet in terms of how much the processing speed is, and they're listing off all of these technical specifications. On the Apple website, they have a technical specification sheet, but they're not selling it to you that way. They're talking about how light it is, how thin it is. They create images in your mind. It's zippy fast. There's 1,000 applications out there. They're speaking in your language. Not only are they living on your street, but they're knocking on your door and they're speaking in your language. They want to connect with you and they want to grab you in the way that you communicate and in the way that you think. So define your target's needs before you get started with any type of marketing communication. The second thing that you need to do is exceed their expectations. We can use that iPad as an example, just extend that example into the exceed the expectations area of this formula. If you think about that iPad, when you actually get it, it is thin. It's thinner than you probably expected. When you get it, it is it's zippy. It is very, very fast. It's faster than they sold it to you as, So they have exceeded, they have under promised and over delivered. And that's the bottom line, is that you don't want to over promise something and under deliver, because people will spread that information out. Even if you have an adequate product, because you over promised it, it will appear substandard and it will appear that your customer in some way got shorted or you took advantage of your customer. So you don't want that to happen. Just think about it in terms of movies. I've had this experience happen to me a lot, so much that I'm kind of reluctant to go to the movies anymore. You see this great trailer for a movie, and you see it over and over again, and every time you see it, you're thinking, as soon as that comes out in theaters, I'm gonna be there. And then you get there and you are disappointed. The trailer was better than the movie itself. It happens. It's not a pleasant experience, but just imagine the amount of dismay and disappointment you have. You don't want your customers to be disappointed in the products and services that you sell them. You want to make sure that you are honest in what you are selling them, and then that you under promise them. The third area of this formula, first was defining the needs, second was exceeding their expectations, the third thing is converting your customers to cheerleaders. And converting your customers to cheerleaders really is sort of a subset, or sort of evolves out of the first two as a result of doing the first two very well. So when you think about Apple, the Apple culture is, I've never seen anything like it before. You walk into an Apple store, the Apple associates do not have to sell you on anything. Their customers are the ones that tell you, that are eager to share their experiences about their Apple with you. They are passionate. They are diehard evangelists for their products. They get up and they when there's a new technology that comes out, the next day they camp out in front of the Apple store. I've never seen anything like it. But when you create those type of customers, or those type of cheerleaders for your products and your services, they will do the marketing for you. So that's the third area of persuasion, is to turn your customers into evangelists and champions for whatever your cause is. So bottom line is that persuasion is not a dirty word. That's what I want you guys to get. And my challenge to you today is to take a look at your copy of any of your sales materials, any of your marketing materials, and ask yourself, did I really go through that process? Did I really take the time to define their needs before I started cranking off of this material? Did I really overpromise this thing? Am I under delivering? Because the heart of and the core of a lot of problems with marketing kind of comes from how you communicate what your product and service can do when it's first introduced to the customer. So that is my challenge to you. Review some of your existing marketing materials, and remember, as you put together any future marketing materials, to always get your customers on deck.